Welcome to PLUSone, the series where each month I look at the free games on PlayStation Plus and tell you if they're worth the download. After all, the games may be free, but your time is valuable. Today I'm taking a look at the 2nd of February 2019's free PS4 games, and that game is For Honor, a 2017 half-action, half-fighting game made by Ubisoft. Featuring factions such as Samurai, Knights, and Vikings going head-to-head online in historical dream matches, the big question here is For Honor fun? Is it worth investing dozens of hours of your time and eating up nearly 32 gigabytes of your hard drive space? Let's dig in and find out. Something that some of you may not know about For Honor is that it actually has a full story mode. I personally always assumed it was an online-only affair since I really wasn't interested in the game and I wasn't actively following it, but no, this game has an 18-mission campaign. The story here runs through 6 missions from each of the game's 3 main factions that I mentioned a moment ago. It's not exactly anything to write home about, but it's an entertaining time if you do want to try it out. The best thing about the story mode is that it acts as the second of this game's 3 gameplay tutorials, and yes, that's right, 3. When you start For Honor for the first time, you're taken into a 15-minute tutorial that goes over the combat. This one is far longer than it needs to be, but at least part of it is necessary given how different For Honor is from any other game out there. With your right stick, you'll be controlling one of 3 attack directions, either from the left, right, or above. You need to constantly change up the direction you're coming from, because if the opponent holds their right stick in that same direction, they'll block your attack and leave you open for a counter. Faster light attacks are performed with R1 and heavier, slower ones with R2, and you can break the enemy's block with the square button. After that first tutorial, you can either play the campaign for some more practice or go into multiplayer. Wait, no, before you go into multiplayer, you gotta fight the general of your chosen faction. After that, you can start the multiplayer. Okay, I lied. Then there's a video tutorial explaining how the multiplayer works. Every battle in For Honor's online mode is usually benefiting a season-long war that lasts a couple real-time months. Say that you've chosen at the beginning of the game to represent the Vikings. During multiplayer, you can still choose fighters from the other nations, but your victories and defeats will reflect on the Viking territory in this war. At the end of the season, whoever has the most territory wins. It's a really neat structure for the multiplayer mode, but I just explained in 3 sentences what it takes the game about a minute and a half to talk about. Seriously, what is it with Ubisoft and throwing so many bloated and totally unfitting tutorials into their games nowadays? They did the exact same thing with Steep, and seeing it back to back in 2 PS Plus months kind of opened my eyes to it. Anyway, back to the game itself. For all the crap I just gave it about taking a while to get to the gameplay, once you do actually get to the meat of the game, it's incredibly fun. Most of the modes put you into 2 teams of 4, going head-to-head in a number of objective-based match types. There's the usual territory capture modes, death matches, 1v1s, 2v2s, and my favorite mode, Breach. In this mode, one team defends a battering ram as it approaches and tries to break through 2 doors of a castle, while the other team attempts to destroy that very same ram. Players can influence the speed of the ram by taking out the computer-controlled pikemen from the other team that swarm around the ram. If only the defending pikemen are surrounding and attacking the ram will slow down. Likewise, if only the attacking team's pikemen are near the ram, it'll go a little bit faster. Teams can also inflict extra damage by keeping control of a few territories on the route to the castle. If the half-hour game timer runs out, or if the attacking team's spawns are depleted, the defenders win. Conversely, if both gates are broken down, the attackers must kill another computer-controlled leader to claim victory. This mode feels incredibly well balanced, and in the rounds I played, it always came down to the wire. In one of the matches, I put the very last shot into that defending leader with just a few seconds left. In the other, the very last player on the enemy team was able to kill our leader and they won. Now, fair warning, if you die in For Honor, there's a very long respawn timer waiting for you, at least 15 seconds. But with that said, I never found myself getting frustrated by that because deaths were simply me getting outplayed or outnumbered. If you're only defeated and not outright killed, you can also choose to hold off on your respawn if you think an ally will make it in time to revive you. Depending on the game mode you're in, you might want to wait for that revive so that you don't waste another respawn. Each warrior type feels pretty distinct as well, with different ranges, attack speeds, movement speeds, and so on. There are also a bunch of different perks that you set before the match that you unlock progressively throughout the battle, such as a quick heal or the ability to call in an archer strike on a certain area. All in all, it's a far more engaging game than I ever expected. I'll give Ubisoft credit on a job well done here. I could even see myself continuing to play this game on and off for months to come because I really enjoy that Breach mode, and I really want to see what the rest of the characters have to offer. Just keep in mind that this is still a Ubisoft game we're talking about here, and that means that it's heavily monetized. From loot boxes to holding back the in-game progression to try and sell the in-game currency, it's all the usual disgusting tactics that we've come to know and hate. The game even gives you a loot box for finishing the tutorial just to try and get you hooked. Awful. Now, even with that warning in mind, altogether For Honor makes for a fun time, but if you're looking for a single-player experience, it really won't hold on to you for too long. If you're happy with a somewhat tactical multiplayer experience, then +1 For Honor to your collection and give it a whirl. There's more than enough content here to keep you invested for a good while if you do enjoy the gameplay, and it's the kind of multiplayer that you're really not going to find anywhere else. For you trophy hunters out there, obviously you already know that it's a multiplayer game, and as such, most of the trophies are multiplayer based. I wouldn't even try and go for that platinum if I were you. And for those of you watching this after February, For Honor costs anywhere from $15 to $40 depending on where you look. I think it's pretty fairly priced at $15, but there's also a ton of DLC that you'd need to buy if you really want the current, full experience. But enough of my thoughts, what do you think about For Honor? If you've already played it, what do you like and dislike? And if you haven't yet, are you gonna try it out? Let me know down in the comments below, and while you're down there, don't forget to hit the like button to help the channel grow. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all of my videos right as they come out.